This video is about how to add a drop shadow in InDesign. There's lots of different ways to do that, but let's just go with one of the simplest ways first. I've already formatted the text for how I want it to show up. I'm going to click on it with the black arrow tool or the selection tool. I'm going to go up to Object, Effects, slide over and drop on Drop Shadow. And that's going to pull up the standard defaults. I would definitely make sure that you had the preview button on so you could see this as you went. To be honest, I think normally the default pops up with the opacity set at about 75%, which for a soft fuzzy drop shadow is probably more appropriate than it being black. But in this case, what I want to do is change this to be 100%, make it blacker. The amount of offset, how far down and to the right it is controlled by these two buttons. The angle, which is kind of talking again about how it's moving down and to the right, is controlled by this, which I could alter by just swinging it around, and I'll be able to see the shadow change. Let's just leave it in about the spot where it was. The amount of fuzziness on it is set on this option right here. So I'm going to change this to be 0, because for this particular one they want a hard drop shadow. And everything is looking great. It's black, it's a hard drop shadow, the angle's probably right. The biggest problem is that it's almost too big of a shadow. It's making it very hard to read. So if I come in here and just change these offsets to something like 0.03, just cut kind of the default in half, it's going to make a much smaller black drop shadow that is still moving down and to the right. And then I just click OK. And the neat thing about this is that once it's set, whenever I move the object, the shadow is tied to the text. So it'll move with it. And if for some reason I ever made changes to that text, like make it larger, bigger, or break where the lines are, that goes ahead and follows it as well.